when you said that you spent time there, were you a caddy at Wingfoot before?
Yeah, I caddied there when I was in high school in the summer in 71 and 72. My dad was friends with Gene Hayden, who was a legendary caddy master at the time. The pro at the time was Claude Harmon, and his three sons, Craig and Billy and Butch, were, Billy was a teenager, and Craig and Butch were in their 20s. They used to go out and just bomb the courses there. And the first hole on the East course is right next to the Caddyshack. So anytime the Harmon boys were going out there, we'd all just sort of like kind of sneak out of the Caddyshack, trying not to get in trouble, and watch them tee off just because they were such legendary hitters.
Wow.
And then the practice green is also right there by the Caddyshack, and there were these sand traps there. And their dad, Claude Harmon, used to give lessons. And to this day, it's indelibly etched in my mind watching Claude Harmon give a sand trap lesson. And he had this kind of magic feel. So yesterday when we went off on the front nine, there's a guy at the starters booth, and he looks at me, and I look at him, and he goes, "How you doing? I'm one of the Harmon boys." And I said, "Are you Billy Harmon?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "Man, it has been about 50 years since I've seen you." It was unbelievable, and there he was.
And had he never seen Caddyshack, though, Michael?
Of course he had, but we hadn't seen each other in 50 years.
Oh,
and the last time I saw him, he was a 19-year-old kid, and there he was, probably in his early 70s. And he, turns out, is close friends with my brother Billy, who's a former president of Wingfoot. And, my brother Billy's actually like a civilian and an adult with a job, So he can afford to join Wingfoot,
So now,
but he's.
So I've got a few questions for you here, Michael.
Sure.
Michael O'Keefe, the actor, joining me here after he just looped for Danny Ballin, who's got a great story again. There's Danny on the right, and then Danny Noonan on the left, right there on our screen. So when you said there was a Caddyshack that you were part of at Wingfoot in 1971, tell me Wingfoot was in fact being run by a judge named Smales. Please tell me that. Did that actually happen? No?
I wish. There were some legendary characters. Some of the more memorable characters were the caddies. Like there was a great caddy named Tasty. And he was hilarious. And he was one of these guys that, had a penchant for wine and was always getting in trouble with the caddy master, Gene Hayden. And Gene, even when you got, even good news from Gene would put the fear of God in you. Because he'd call out your name when you got Olivia. "Michael O'Keefe, get J.J. Gagliardi, go down to 111 West." You'd be like, "Oh, my God, I think I just had a heart attack." All right. And then the guy who ran the club room was named Mo, and you could not understand a word he said. He talked so fast, and it was so kind of muted in some kind of, I don't know what. You come in and say, "Mo, I need JJ Gagliardi." He'd go, "Yeah, JJ, let me get that." He was saying something like, "Yeah, let me get that bag for you," but nobody really knew what he was saying, so we all just kind of nodded and said, "Okay." Tasty would get into a fight with Gene, and if you got into trouble with Gene, he'd send you down the hill. "Tasty, go down the hill." Oh my God, it's such a time.
And I imagine then the groundskeeper did not have in his house Kentucky bluegrass and California sensimilla together. That did not happen as well, is what you're saying.
Well, it was the 70s, so that it might have been that way back then.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.